Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard, heading into week 6 of the NFL. A lot of critical games this week. It's going to be a very interesting one. Smokey, how are you doing?
I am good. I am better than Browns fans right now because that team is absolutely going down the toilet. I know I mentioned that maybe last week or the week before, but look how this team is playing, man. It is very dismal. They are back to being the Browns of old at this point in time. Maybe getting Nick Chubb back will help a little bit, but I don't know, man. Deshaun Watson doesn't look like Deshaun Watson. It is absolutely horrible. The gods are punishing the Browns. There's no doubt about it at this point. Other than that, how are you, Alex?
I'm better than, I guess, Bengals fans. Because it's kind of inexplicable what's happening to this team. Joe Burrow, if we closed our eyes to the team's record, Joe Burrow might be the favorite to win MVP this year, given the statistics that we'll get into and like his style and what he's been doing so far. But the Bengals somehow cannot buy a win. It seems like they're 1-4 and just taking a loss against Baltimore at home was a big hit when it comes to the divisional race. They have to find a way to turn it around, which I don't really know how that's gonna go, because Burrow can't be much better than he has been. So we'll kind of have to see what they can do there. But that's for me so far. Let's talk about this MVP stuff, I guess, because it's week 6 and we want to give our weekly update. So do you have a top 5 that you want to present?
I do. Well, actually, it's really tough because there's a bottleneck of names. There's a couple people that stand out, of course, but I don't know if they're going to win. I don't see how they could. But let's talk about it. Lamar is one of the odds-on favorites. Patrick Mahomes still leads the odds right now, and he's playing horrible. So there is no way. If the season ended right now, you would lose money betting on Patrick Mahomes because he hasn't played like an MVP in well over a year at this point in time. CJ Stroud is still number 2. He hasn't really played up to that standard at this point in time. Lamar Jackson, that's a name that absolutely stands out because he has played much better in the past few games, and he won last year, so probably most likely if the season ended right now, he would be the winner. Or would they actually go with a rookie for the MVP? From what I understand, it hasn't happened since Jim Brown, of all people. That's the last time a rookie won the MVP. So,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Josh Allen has played bad. Kirk Cousins has entered his name into the running at this point in time, although his odds are way down there. So if you think Kirk Cousins could pull off that Matt Ryan year, after breaking Matt Ryan's record on the night that Matt Ryan goes into the Ring of Honor for the Falcons, he has entered his name into the running here. Brock Purdy has not. I mean, he's played great, but he hasn't got the wins, and it's very hard to get it without the wins, much like Joe Burrow, like you were talking about earlier. So, if the season ended right now, one of 3 things would happen. We would either have a repeat MVP in Lamar Jackson, a rookie MVP in Jaden Daniels, or someone else who is not. And I really don't know who has played well enough outside of the quarterbacks to actually win this. Maybe a Derrick Henry or Jamar Chase or something like that. But yeah, I guess as of right now, I'm going with Lamar because I don't think a rookie will win it, although he is the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
That's big praise for a rookie like Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I think he's in the consideration. Look, people are saying he's got the Offensive Rookie of the Year already basically in the bag, and I can kind of agree with that as a quarterback to go to a bad team and then turn them around like this. Who could have prophesized that he would be the best quarterback in this draft? I wonder who could have. You know, I would love to meet the genius who said that Jaden Daniels will be the best quarterback in the draft, not Caleb Williams. It's a mystery to all of us. But if I had to give you a top 5, it's getting difficult this week because you mentioned you have players like Burrow and Purdy who, if you look at the stats, you titrate out everything that's the team performance or record. Those two have been playing phenomenally well. I mean, I sent you a statistic the other day, which is hard to believe, but Joe Burrow is currently 12 touchdowns 2 interceptions, pass rating of 113. The Bengals are 1-4. Patrick Mahomes, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Pass rating of 88, below average. Chiefs are 5-0. And that's the difference of having a great defense versus not having a great defense. And having support around you, having a run game around you versus not having those sorts of things. And in the MVP race, let's say we had only Burrow and Mahomes. They were the only 2 quarterbacks in the league for some reason. And they're the only 2 eligible for MVP. Who's winning? I don't know. Because one guy he just wins every game and the other guy just can't win a game. But he's playing 100 times better. So this is a really interesting sort of philosophical question of what does the MVP have to do? But for me, the usual names from last week are still sticking around. You haven't mentioned Sam Darnold yet, but he's undefeated as well as Patrick Mahomes and has, in every statistical category, outplayed Mahomes by a good amount. Jane Daniels as the rookie sensation there. Baker's still sticking around. He took sort of an unfortunate loss. Otherwise, I think he would have been considered quite highly. He's got a very good stat line. Lamar's played himself into the picture now. The Ravens started slow, but he's gotten back into it. And then there's Josh Allen, who still hasn't thrown an interception. But the Bills have been, as a team, kind of been looking a little bit weaker in recent times. So for me, it's very hard to give a list. But this is why I'd like to turn it over to the audience and the viewers and say, who you think is the MVP. We only have 4 options, so I'm getting questions every week asking me, where's this guy, where's that guy? We can only put 4 options in the poll, but if you go to the community page on YouTube, you can vote, and I'm curious to see. Last week, we had a blowout victory for Brock Purdy for some reason, which I did not expect. I feel like this week it's going to be a little more balanced, though we'll see other names. It's still very early in the season, so the swings are quite big going week to week, but I'm curious to see the turnout of that poll. Let's get into week 6, shall we? We have, as I mentioned at the start, some very interesting and very important games. And the first one's on Thursday night, and this is one that's relevant to me because it is the Niners at Seattle, and this is for the division lead.
Yeah, and looking at this entire slate, I think there's going to be a lot of home underdogs this week. It makes it really tough because you want to lean toward home teams, especially the loud stadiums like this one right here, the 49ers and the Seahawks. That's the 12th man out there. But Seahawks are coming off of a bad game. The 49ers offense is playing pretty well, and Brandon Ayuk looks like he's back to top form. Hopefully he is. It looks like it took him a few weeks to get started, but maybe he is going to earn that contract after all. But it's only one game. We don't want to speak too early. Makes it tough, though, because both of these teams are coming off some losses, and some tough losses at that. You know, I've been picking the 49ers all season, and they've been letting me down. This is 2-3 for the 49ers, and 3-2 for the Seahawks. You know what? I'm going to do it one more time. This is my last time picking the 49ers. If they don't win, okay, I will not pick them again until they win again. Okay. But I will take the 49ers.
Sounds good. Cool. Next week, they're playing the Chiefs. I will also take the Niners at Seattle. This is not an easy pick to make, and I am going into this game with a very bad feeling because this division is legitimately contested. This is no longer just run away with it by default. That's not what it's like, and that's not because the other teams are great. They're not. They're all mediocre, but so are the Niners so far this year, and that comes mostly on the backs of the defense. And I'm a proponent for a relatively radical approach to this because this team is a very, very good team, but they keep losing to teams that are much worse. If I'm the John Lynch right now, I'm gonna try to replace the DC, and like this week, like right now, because Rob Saleh got fired by the Jets. He is the defensive coordinator for the 49ers in 2019, who built that defense into what it was, and what both he and DeMeco Ryans ran fantastically as a top 3 defense, and then Steve Wilkes kind of not as good, but still much better. This year, they dropped off of a cliff. Remember, they replaced Steve Wilkes because the defense was already the Niners' weak spot last year. They replaced the defense coordinator, and they've dropped off the face of the earth. Bottom 5 defense, absolutely terrible. If I want to save this season, I'm changing defensive coordinator this week. If Robert Saleh is available, hey, let's do this. I'm doing it this week, right now. And I know that's a really radical thing to propose, but I think that's what's necessary because this defense needs to be rebuilt as well. the pass rush that was once prolific and the great defensive line has kind of been whittled down to a set of only rotational players and Nick Bosa and no one else. Defensive backfield just hasn't improved. His communication issues are blatant and absolutely crazy for it being week 6, almost getting into midseason. A lot of things there need to happen. There's also some blame to be put on the play calling and other like very stupid mistakes, but losing a game like last week, which took an incredible set of unbelievable circumstances all happening one after the other. Stupid fumble, special teams plays, the kicker getting injured, so we couldn't kick field goals. We couldn't take points when we needed to. Stalling 3 times in the red zone. All of those things are like mental errors, play calling errors, communication errors, and that has more to do with the atmosphere, the everyday vibe in the building than anything else, anything tangible. So I would make a big change here. I would, if this is possible, I would do it. As for the Niners, I still picked them obviously to win against Seattle because, I can't. I have to go hard overhead with this one, right? Even though my head kind of tells me not to. They are still favored by 3 points at Seattle. I don't know how legitimate this is. I think smart money is probably on Seattle here, but I've got the Niners. Okay, we have the Jaguars and the Bears.
Yeah. Both these teams are coming off of big wins, man. The Jaguars absolutely dominated that game against the Colts, but almost blew it right at the very end. Almost let the dollar store Aaron Rodgers come back on them. Joe Flacco. Man, Joe Flacco pulls off magic somehow. Now, he wasn't good for most of this game. For 3 quarters, he was not great. But that 4th quarter, man, he turned it on and almost beat the Jaguars after the defense got tired. So make of that what you will. Bears are coming off of a huge win, and people are really on to the Bears all of a sudden because they think it's going to work out with their rookie quarterback. I don't think they're as good as that win right there because they played the Panthers, and the Panthers' defense is absolutely a sieve right now. They are letting everything through. The Panthers are so bad. They are the bottom of the barrel team right now. Not that I hate to see it, because I kind of enjoy that. It is the Panthers who we're talking about here. But kind of embarrassing for the division, because the division had seemed to have turned around a little bit, and the Panthers are just bringing up the rear here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say that the road team wins. I haven't seen the odds for this one, but they may actually favor the Bears in this. I know I said there's going to be a lot of home underdogs, but I'm assuming they do favor the Bears after a win like that. But I think the Jaguars figured something out. If that defense can hold for 4 quarters, I think they can absolutely beat the Bears here. I'll take the Jaguars on the road.
All right, that's an interesting pick. I did not expect you to make that one. I'm going to go Chicago. I'll give you a disagreement here. I'll take the Bears. Look, not because I like them or I think they're particularly good. I don't think they are. I think they're a step a step above the worst bunch of teams, which is to say they're in the 20 to 25 range if we were to rank every team. But Jacksonville so far has seemed to be in the range below even that. And yeah, they almost blew that one against the Colts, finally end up getting it done. Trevor Lawrence had a little bit of a game finally. The run game looked good, at least for Jacksonville, but I just don't see a whole lot of coordination or anything working out there. I think all in all, Bears just a little bit more stacked offensively, so I think they'll get it done here at home. Now this one's intriguing here, Washington and the Ravens.
Yeah, this might be the toughest one to pick on the entire slate right here. Okay, the Commanders are absolutely wonderful. They have turned that franchise around thanks to their superstar rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. Absolutely looks like he should have been the number 1 overall pick. As I just picked against the Bears, I would say that for sure he should have been the number 1 overall. The reigning Heisman until someone else wins it at the end of the season. This guy's great. But he's playing the Ravens this week, and he is on the road. So we're really going to find out what this team and Jaden Daniels is made of right now. Have they absolutely figured it out? They stomped out the Browns, yes. Understandable. The Browns are not really good, but they're coming off of 4 wins in a row. How much is that momentum going to keep them going here? The Ravens have absolutely beat some great teams. They knocked the life out of Josh Allen last week. Man, I don't even know if Josh Allen should be playing. More on that later. Should I pick them? You know what? Since I have so many road teams that I plan on picking in this slate, I'm going to say that the Commanders get their second loss right here. I'm going to say that the Ravens continue their winning ways, and this will be MVP versus MVP, or at least in the running for the MVP. These two guys are going to battle it out. I should see a very high-scoring game. I don't know what the over-under is for this one, but it should be a lot, like 60 points or more. I'll take the Ravens at home.
I can tell you what the over-under for this one is, 51.5.
Not enough. I'll go the over.
No, okay, I'll go over. It's the second highest over-under by just half a point.
Oh, wow.
Of the week. So at least it is a considerable one. So this one's tough to pick because obviously I want to go Washington, I want to go Jaden Daniels, but the Ravens are playing at home and they're currently catching an incredible amount of momentum. Derrick Henry's looking like the best back in the league. For an incredible amount of time that he's been in the league now, by the way. Very rare for to see running backs with a career this long and this level. But he's been pulling it off. He's doing it with a second team now. I have to give it to Baltimore. I think maybe this is a kind of game where the Commanders are just like a game, like 1 year behind, the development curve from being able to stop a team or a running game like the Ravens consistently for a whole game. They may not be quite there defensively, but I think on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, the Commanders right now, they look as good as it gets, and that's in large part thanks to Jaden Daniels, who's been fantastic. So can't wait to watch this one. It's going to be the best game of the first slot here by far. Take the Ravens though. Cardinals and the Packers.
And the Cardinals are coming off of that narrow win over the 49ers, which would kind of make you believe that the Cardinals are legit, right? I think these are just fluky wins against the 49ers. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I don't think the Cardinals are that legit, but they shouldn't have been 49ers. They did. Like I said, it was very narrow. The Packers are also coming off of a tough-fought game. And, I would actually put Jordan Love in the MVP running if he hadn't thrown like a Will Levis type interception in that game. Just a very stupid play there. But maybe, he can clean that up and he'll get back to that MVP level and maybe be in the running by the end. This is another one where there's no way I'm going to pick the road team just because I have so many road teams that I'm picking in this one. I will take the Packers to get it together and stomp out the Cards at home.
Yeah, give me Packers as well. They just did a good job on the Rams, and they'll keep doing God's work here. Beat the Cardinals. Who the Cardinals might actually be thinking that they right now that they are a legitimate team, which they aren't. Of course, you identified it completely correctly. Now that look, they won the game, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say they didn't earn it. Which, a lot of like weird things had to happen for that to transpire the way it did, but ultimately is the fault of the Niners for bungling it away to a much worse team, which did it against the Rams as well. There's one time so far the Niners legitimately got beat, and that was against Minnesota, and the other two losses were just giving it away for free when they had no need to do so. But yeah, Cardinals profit, got a win, and they are technically in the race for the division because there's just no really good team that's kind of running away with it right now, though I think the Packers will put a halt to it. So Green Bay at home. Texans and the Patriots.
Yeah, the Texans, like I said, I think I said earlier, they knocked the Ravens knocked the life out of Josh Allen, but it was absolutely the Texans because he actually took a concussion in this game and came right back in a couple plays later. After the Tua situation, I don't know that this should be happening. But I guess he's going to be out there to play. I would be afraid of that if I was management of this team. You may want to sit him out. I know you guys need wins. You really do. But either way, back to the Texans. The Texans got the win, so they do have the momentum here. The Patriots coming off of a horrible loss to Miami. I will take the Texans on the road.
Yeah, not much there to debate. I mean, Patriots lost the Tank Bowl just then. Texans won a potential AFC playoff game preview, although be it lucky and with probably the worst mismanagement of the game clock I've ever seen from a coach as experienced as Sean McDermott to get the ball in a tie game, to get the ball like after the 2-minute warning and still lose by a field goal in regulation is unbelievable. I have no idea what that nonsense was. It was terrible time management, a completely blown game. That they could have just kneeled into overtime. So that was all. But credit to the Texans. I mean, they've really turned the season around. They've been looking good, and they'll beat the Patriots, no problem.
Yeah, the Saints are coming off of a loss to the Chiefs. Is that because the Saints are really that much worse than the Chiefs, or are the Chiefs being handed the season here? It really looks like that now. All right, I'm going to focus on this game here because I keep getting straight off and talking about the teams they played last week instead of the teams that they're playing this week. The Bucs coming off of a hard loss to the Falcons. I'll not talk about the Falcons. Baker Mayfield is playing great even though he lost. Yes, he is Laser Mayfield, as a lot of people have been calling him this season. He's pretty accurate, and last year the hero ball was the thing that kind of held him back, but he has cleaned that up, it seems, and now he seems to be more focused. He seems like a really legit quarterback at this point in time. We'll see if that holds through. I expect him to blow it at some point because it's Baker Mayfield, but maybe not. He'll hold on here. He'll get a win on the road over the beat-down Saints. I'll take the Bucs on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no doubt about this one either. Saints had this dynamic start to the season, just didn't really manage to back it up. After 2 weeks, we thought they'd be the number one team. But the Bucs have looked good. I mean, they played the Falcons down to overtime, and it was a fantastic game. Arguably decided by a coin flip, one might argue, but Bucs have looked good, and I'll take Baker and the Bucs as well. Off to some two other hero ball players with the Browns and the Eagles.
Coming off of their bye, and they're getting their 2-star wide receivers back. That's going to be a really big favor for the Eagles right here. Not that they necessarily need it, because like I said, the Browns are just so bad. That offensive line is dead. They can't stop anything. Deshaun Watson is getting beat to death out there, so bad that he's walking off, and there is major trouble brewing with the Browns. Although coach is saying that Deshaun Watson is their starter still going forward, but man, these temper tantrums are not going to get them anywhere. That team is absolutely in disarray. I will take the Eagles at home to get their wins back.
Yeah, give me the Eagles as well. Browns are drafting a quarterback. It's time to rebuild. This is not going anywhere. Nick Chubb probably will never be 100% of what he was before the injury and before when he was a bit younger. Time to rebuild. The offensive line is not looking good, so Eagles take this one. Colts and Titans in the division.
Yeah, this is tough, right? The Texans are coming off of a bye, but they got a huge win before the bye. But they had been really bad for the first 3 games of the season. And Will Levis made some horrible, dumb interceptions. Are they going to clean that up? Are they going to play more like 2 weeks ago? Or are we going back to the first 3 games of the season? That's the question here. Because the Colts are absolutely formidable with Joe Flacco. And I'm assuming they're going to continue to play him. I mean, you kind of have to bring Anthony Richardson back whenever he's ready to play. Because that's your star. You have to play him. You can't just ride it out with Joe Flacco just to see what happens. Yeah, you'll probably lose your job either way because Joe Flacco is not going to win you the Super Bowl. If he does, that would be amazing. You may save your job, but probably not. You're probably going to get to the first round of the playoffs and get knocked out with Joe Flacco. So you have to throw Anthony Richardson out there when he's healthy. I'm assuming they're going to stick with Flacco here. So that makes this really tough. If it's Anthony Richardson, I'm absolutely going with the Titans, especially being at home. But I don't know. It makes it really tough. You know what? I'm still going to stick with the Titans. I'm going to say that Will Levis is going to put something together. I'm going to say that he's not going to go back to the dumb interceptions. He's an absolute athlete at quarterback. If he ever gets his mentals right, he will be a great quarterback in this league. As for right now, I'll stick with the Titans at home.
Yeah, I agree with you once again. Give me Tennessee. The Colts look pretty bad against Jacksonville. Rallied to almost come back in the end. But that doesn't really detract from the fact that that roster is very depleted and it's not looking very good. Titans are coming off a bye week, should be rested, playing at home. Enough of an advantage for me to say Tennessee is going to win this one. Chargers and Denver.
Denver is looking kind of good, right? Hate to see it, man. I don't like Sean Payton. But I do like some of the players on the Broncos, so I'm happy for them. I like Bo Nix. I want to see him succeed. I just don't like his coach, so I'm kind of conflicted there. The Chargers, coming off of their bye, should be rested. They should have some players back. Hopefully Herbert is healthy, ready to play this game. I want to see him succeed for the rest of the season and maybe even throw his name in the MVP running for once. Maybe the Chargers could absolutely make the playoffs for once, and maybe we won't see Phillip Rivers all over again. I'm going to take the Chargers on the road and say that they put one over on the Broncos.
I agree with everything you said, including liking Bo Nix, but not the team and not the coach, which is kind of a dilemma for me every week. But I take issue with one thing. The Chargers are no longer the kind of team that produces an MVP quarterback. This is fundamentally an overhaul team and play philosophy. Now, Justin Herbert, don't get me wrong, he's an MVP quality quarterback, and many another year would have been seriously in the running had the team around him not collapsed or pulled down by mediocre, lackluster coaching. Let's hope the Chargers come back fully healthy. They've had some injury troubles with their star players on offense. Let's hope they're fully going, because the Broncos are catching a little bit of wind. They're playing at home. They're going to try to capitalize on the current momentum, but I do stick with the Chargers here. I think it's just a little bit more quality on the roster overall. The quarterback mismatch, Justin Herbert versus a rookie, is just a little too big, so Chargers get it done. Steelers and Raiders.
Oh my God, I just thought about something that I didn't think about while making my pick. Patrick Surtain on Ladd McConkey is going to be a nightmare. He is going to eat that kid for breakfast. Oh Lord, I feel bad for Ladd McConkey right now. Like, he's going to get manhandled. Patrick Surtain is probably the best cornerback in the league.
He's playing good, yeah. He's playing really good.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm glad I'm not Ladd McConkey this week. Steelers and the Raiders. The Steelers are coming off of a couple of losses, and people are getting toward ready to see Wilson out there instead of Justin Fields. Is that going to happen? Probably not yet. I think it's going to take another loss, and it's going to have to be probably in dramatic fashion. And Wilson's going to have to be healthy. If Russell is not healthy, then they're definitely not going to throw him out there. They're not going to take a chance like that. Tomlinson doesn't do that. The Raiders, on the other hand, are starting Aiden O'Connell because this team is circling the toilet. There is one bright spot. No, I'll say two bright spots because of Max Crosby. The defense has one bright spot. The offense has one bright spot. And it happens to be Brock Bowers, and he is a rookie tight end, so he can only do what he can do. Maybe the second best tight end of the season right now. But, and it's crazy because tight ends don't usually develop in their rookie season. It usually takes 2 to 3 seasons for a tight end to develop. But he's playing like probably one of the top 3 tight ends in the entire league. But those two bright spots are not going to be enough to get it over on the Steelers. The Steelers are going to have to hold it together, or there will be a quarterback change coming up. Right now, I'll take the Steelers on the road.
Outside of quarterback, tight end is the hardest position to transition from college to the NFL. And you gotta, anytime this happens with a tight end like Brock Bowers, it's worth noting how difficult this is like not much less impressive than what Jaden Daniels is doing in Washington for a tight end on a bad team with rotating quarterbacks. He's looking very good, but we predicted this. I mean, you especially did as a Georgia fan. You predicted this 3 years ago. Like, this guy is like a freshman. He'll come into the league, he'll be a first round pick. And he's going to be one of the most refined tight ends coming into the league in a couple of years. So we thought this was coming. Unfortunately, two bright spots on the team is not enough, especially when the third potential bright spot's been waving his hands asking for a trade. There's a lot of work to do for the Raiders. I'm not really buying it. I'll take the Steelers, though I will say, pick the Steelers the last few weeks. They've let me down. They've cost me points, especially against Dallas. They have also let me down emotionally because I wanted them to win that game. Still got to get it done here, though. But I'll take them over the Raiders because the Raiders are really bad. Falcons and Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough because I've talked about these two teams extensively already this season, this episode. Man, I don't want to restart the curse, but I feel like I might have last week by not picking the Falcons. I hope the curse is not because, like I said, the Falcons played offensively very well. After a game where they played defensively very well, but not offensively very well. They weren't great on defense in this game. if they can put the defense and the offense on the same page in the same game, this team could possibly have a deep playoff run with Kirk Cousins there. Now, I personally was not happy about Kirk Cousins coming there if they were going to draft a quarterback, which they did. But it is cool to have a potentially elite quarterback sitting behind Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is playing well, so I can't complain too much. The Panthers are absolutely bad. If they lose this, I'm going to be utterly pissed, man. Falcons are going to win this on the road.
Yes, I agree with that. This one for the or big game in the division, I guess, not because Panthers really aren't a contender, but still a reasonably big game for the Falcons. Any game's big right now, coming off of 2 great wins, and this one to sweep the division, which is going to be music in your ears next week if we're sitting here and that happened. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, I'm taking Atlanta as well. It's very, very good performance. Exactly what you wanted to see, right? Kirk Cousins sort of breathing life into that offense, getting into the rhythm, getting into the flow. I will take the Falcons here to beat Carolina. Detroit and Dallas.
Speaking of getting into the rhythm and the flow, the Lions were absolutely on point right before their break last week. Coming off of this bye, they should be rested up and ready to go. All those superstar receivers and Sam Laporta, even though he hasn't played quite like last season, he is still a star out there receiving passes for Jared Goff. And they should roll here. I mean, the Cowboys have some wins, but they haven't looked exceptionally well. They've dropped some games that they were favored in. And it is in Dallas, so it gives me a little bit of pause. But I think the Lions is a potential Super Bowl team. I think I actually picked them to be in the Super Bowl before the season started. So I'm going to stick with it here. I say that the Lions are good enough to beat the Cowboys. The only problem is they are in Dallas at AT&T Stadium, so that is going to be the issue. Other than that, on a neutral field, Lions win by at least 14 points. But I'll still stick with the Lions on the road.
Yeah, like this one, the Cowboys need to be stopped again, right? Like they started the season badly, and we thought that they might they kind of just keep sneaking by, which kind of annoys me a little bit. I wanted them to really look a lot worse than they have been record wise, but the Lions coming off a bye, I think they'll get this done. You know, they've been one of the better teams. Not as quick of a start as we thought they would be. We thought they might be potentially the biggest powerhouse in the NFC so far. Not keeping up with Minnesota quite yet, but definitely the biggest threat to Minnesota possibly in that division. So I'll also take the Lions here and hope that they can get it done at Jerry World. The Bengals at the Giants.
Well, before the season started, maybe even 2 to 3 games into the season, even though the Bengals lost, they usually do that at the beginning of the season. I would have still said the Bengals are going to win this by a ton of points, right? But the Giants actually look good. And the Bengals, even though they score over 30 points a game, that offense is absolutely potent. And Jamar Chase is a weapon, no doubt about it. Maybe the best wide receiver in the league. Hard to say at this point in time. We'll know by the end of the season, though. The Giants are looking good. And I've always secretly, maybe not even secretly, I've said it on here, I've always kind of rooted for the Giants, and I've always wanted Daniel Jones to work out. I mean, people talk so bad about Daniel Jones. The media seems to hate Daniel Jones, but he's got something. He's got the talent. He's got the potential there. He's just never been able to unleash all of that. He is a great dual threat quarterback. Maybe not the best passer in the world, but he's great if he could put his tools to work on the field and have a team around him that can work it out. Now, hopefully Malik Neighbors is back for this game because that's his number one target, but he also has Wan'Dale Robinson out there who is great at catching passes also. And the tight ends are not looking bad either. But the Bengals are going to put up 30, 35 points, maybe even 38 points like they did on the Ravens. No doubt about that. The Giants won't be able to stop that. Going to pick the Bengals on the road.
Yeah, look, this is the final straw, right? I mean, Bengals have to win this one. There's if they don't win this one, there's no way back. That might potentially just be too much to come back from if we look at what the Ravens have been doing in recent weeks, and we expect them to keep going like that. We did pick them to win against Washington. This is this is a must-win in the truest sense in Week 6 here for the Bengals. They have to win it. I say they get it done. I mean, the stats speak for themselves when you look at how good Joe Burrow is, how good Jamar Chase has been. It's just not a whole lot else, and things haven't really been going their way. The Giants are a below-average team, though they've kind of been catching themselves a little bit, and played a great game against Seattle to my very much amusement. Beat Seattle, which was amazing. Yeah, but the Bengals have to get this one. And I'm picking them too because I just can't imagine a world in which the best quarterback in the league statistically is 1-5 and has no hopes of the playoffs whatsoever. That just seems like it can't be reality. So I'll take the Bengals here at New York, but keep an eye on this one because it could be very important. And then prime time Monday night, the Bills and the Jets.
We kind of mentioned it earlier. I'm guessing the Bengals and the Giants were the highest over-under of the week. You were saying that one team had 0.5 points more than the Commanders and Ravens.
The Lions and Cowboys.
Oh, Lions and Cowboys.
Lions and Cowboys.
I bet the Bengals and the Giants are going to score a ton of points. But either way, the Bills and the Jets have a interim head coach now. The former DC is now the head coach until they sort that situation out. I like to say that Aaron Rodgers fired Robert Saleh. I think that's what happened. We saw them fighting. I thought they were good friends at one point in time, but they've been fighting a lot lately, and the Jets are circling the toilet also. If they can't get something going, this one great defense has been beaten and picked apart till they don't seem to be that great anymore. I know they're not letting teams just score 30, 40 points on them, but they're not holding their own in clutch situations for sure. The Bills, on the other hand, I can finally talk about them, even though I've alluded to them several times. Josh Allen has a concussion. I don't know if he should be playing after the Tua situations that we've seen. It wasn't a severe one like Tua, obviously. He came back in a couple plays later, and Trubisky got knocked out. Not knocked out physically, but he got knocked out of the game because Josh Allen said, I'm going to finish this game. But it didn't go their way. The Bills still lost against the Texans. But the Jets are coming off of a horrible beatdown to a Tua-less Dolphins. Speaking of concussions there, the Bills have to get this done. I know you're going to be on the road, and it's Aaron Rodgers, but the Jets are not that good. Oh, man, now I'm thinking about the 2-game bump, right?
2-game bump.
Oh, God. You know what? Dang it. I hate it for the Bills. They're going to end up being 3-3 after this game. I'm picking the Jets. I'm changing my pick. I was going to pick the Bills. I'm picking the Jets at home.
Man, I thought I could get you on this one. I am also picking the Jets. Look. I know the Bills are the better team, right? Yeah. I get it. That's the case, right? I can't not believe in the bump anymore. It's just happened too many times and just too reliably historically. Like, how many years are we going to say this? It's just coincidence. Just coincidence. Maybe it is, but I mean, we have a lot of evidence, right, to suggest that the bump is real.
Yeah.
So I will take it. Still, Aaron Rodgers is a good argument on the Jets' behalf anyway. Bills have been looking a little bit weak. A lot of things coming together here. I will take the Jets to get it done. What do you think is going to happen with Robert Saleh?
Oh, he'll probably go back to BDC somewhere, right? If not the 49ers. I mean, I doubt the 49ers are just going to drop your DC right now and just throw him away. But he's going to be DC somewhere. Good question as to where. I'm not sure. Let's see, who needs a good DC right now?
The Niners, perhaps?
Yeah, but are the Niners willing to just drop early in the season like this? I don't know. I mean, it could be after the season, though, right? I know you want it to happen right now. Like, bring Robert Saleh in for Week 6 here. But I doubt that's going to happen.
Instantly, right now, immediately.
Yeah. Jaguars could use a good DC. Let's see. God forbid he goes to the Browns. Ugh.
No. He needs to come back. Like, he built a phenomenal defense, and he knows that in the Kyle Shanahan regime, right, in San Francisco, he's going to have the freedom to run it the way that he wants to run it, and a job that he's extremely qualified for, and one of the best in the world. he built that legendary 20. I don't think the Niners defense has ever been as good as it was in 2019. Potentially 2021 with DeMeco Ryans was also fantastic. It was also really good. But Robert Saleh was the architect of this whole thing. He built up that team on the defensive side. He drafted Nick Bosa. He drafted Fred Warner. Those players, those schemes, the wide nine, which is just now not working at all anymore. The pass rush rotations, none of it's working anymore. And we need Tim to come back and rebuild it. That's my clear take on it. It's not working the way it is now, so I would go the radical route. If possible, bring him in immediately.
So who do you think takes over for the Jets at head coach? I mean, I'm sure it'll be next season. They'll ride it out the way it is for the rest of the season, but... Okay.
Do you want me to write like the movie plot like 30 years from now? Bill Belichick.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, right? Obviously.
Yeah. Man, I was just thinking like Cliff Kingsbury, but
no.
Wow. Bill Belichick. Yeah, I mean,
Bill Belichick is the story.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick is the story.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like division rival as well, while the Patriots are absolutely terrible after he leaves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if he wants to come back, he has some age on him now. If he wants to come back, that's a possibility now that I think about it. Maybe. It'd be something to see. Like, do they keep it Rodgers after the season even, though?
I don't know. His contract's off.
Yeah. Maybe that would be the only way Belichick would come in, is like, okay, if we re-sign Rodgers, I'll give you 2 years.
Maybe. If Rodgers wants to stay. Or maybe he wants to go to a different team. If he's like the Jets at the state they're in now, this is not the kind of team that he was sold. He was told you're going to a contender, right? This didn't turn out that way at all. So maybe the Vikings are.
That's the movie plot right there.
That's the movie plot. Bill Belichick with the Jets. The Vikings get Aaron Rodgers, like paralleling Brett Favre, because Sam Darnold's contract he's got a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
And he's going to get big money next year. The way he's playing right now, he's going to get a huge deal somewhere else in free agency. This is the best possible time for him to be a free agent and to ball out the way he's been playing. Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings. What's the best way to round up this plot? Where does Sam Darnold go next week?
Let's see.
Easily the Browns, right? Because they picked Mayfield over him those years back, and when they should have picked him.
Yeah, that's true.
He goes to the Browns. The Browns will have Watson's bad. The Browns will have a quarterback. Okay, we've done it. Write the script. We're gonna sell. We're gonna sell that script next week.
Yeah,
it's too perfect.
Either Browns or Raiders, but yeah, the Browns would be more perfect since they had Mayfield and then let him go. And then Mayfield become a star. They're going to look at Sam Darnold and say, well, we could get that Mayfield thing back, in the form of Sam Darnold. Yeah, that'd probably be more perfect right there. Man, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But that is my current leading script and theory. Let's see if it turns out that way. We have the 2 undefeated teams. Chiefs and Vikings are on bye this week, so they will stay undefeated going into next week. Also, the Rams and the Dolphins, who are all but undefeated and can very much use a bye week. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Definitely looking forward to it. Remind everyone again that you can go vote for your current MVP favorite on our channel page. If you go to the channel community page, there's a poll. You can vote for your MVP. Now, again, not every player who's a good candidate is listed. There are some names in there, or there are some names there that are clearly missing that a lot of people will say they should be MVP. It's because there's more than 4 good candidates at the moment. It's still early in the season, and we can only list 4 names. So if you have a suggestion that is not listed, please just put it in the comments, and people can like that comment, and then we'll see how it turns out. I'm curious what the public opinion this week is and how much it has shifted, because I think it has probably a little bit. But I'm definitely interested in that. Do you have anything for this week, Smokey? Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see what Spencer Rattler is going to do when he gets to start.
Yeah, do you mean that? Do you not mean that?
No, I'm legitimately curious because we've been through a lot with Spencer Rattler throughout college, and I'm legitimately curious to see what he does when he gets a start. Like, I feel like it could go either way. He's not going to be like a mediocre in between guy. He's either going to bomb really big or surprise the world and just set it on fire. Which would spell bad things for the Bucs this week, but I'm curious, very very curious.
Yeah, me too. So let's see. I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm not a particularly big fan. I don't think that he's gonna be particularly new, but could be a bump as well because it's just something new. No tape on him.
Maybe.
I think the Bucs will be able to handle it.
They recruited him at Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley did, because he reminded him of a cross between Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. He was like that dead center guy of those two players. And here he is facing Baker Mayfield in his first start. I mean, that's poetic right there, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Well, we will see.
Yeah,
we will see. It'll be an interesting one for sure. So, go vote for MVP. Let us know your picks of this week. If you have any bold predictions, put them in the comments. We had a few disagreements, so I'm curious to see how it turns out. And we will see you in the next one.
Doses.